Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to make a chestnut roast. Now I always make my nut roast in advance of Christmas because you don't want to be spending the festive period when you've got your friends and loved ones around you, perhaps prepping in the kitchen and missing out on all the fun. And no doubt you want all your friends and loved ones to feel special as well. It's a time when you can take the shoes off your feet and just sit back and relax. Now this nut roast is my go-to. It's my own recipe and I always make it around this time of the year. And once I've assembled it, I just pack it up ready for the freezer and then pop it in there. And then when we decide we want it over Christmas, sometimes it's Christmas Day, but it's often Boxing Day, I just take it out of the freezer, let it defrost and put it in the oven. You can also cook it from frozen if you forget to take it out of the freezer. There's no meat in it at all. It's completely vegan and totally yummy. Certainly my hubby Dan and my Mill always really look forward to my chestnut roast. So without further ado, let's get down to it. The first thing I'm going to do is put this vacuum pack of whole chestnuts, which have already been cooked, into this metal bowl. And then I'm going to mash them up a bit. I'm going to use this potato masher to mash them up. You can, if you prefer, chop them. But I like the texture from mashing. I like some mashed, I like some in bigger pieces. You want a little bit of texture. This is about right. Now I have a little bit of vegetable here. I've got some chopped celery, finely grated carrot and a bit of diced Romano pepper. If you want, you can add garlic or leeks or onions. My Mill cannot eat garlic, onions or leeks, and I don't eat mushrooms, but if you wanted to put mushrooms in, you could also put mushrooms. So I'm going to now fry this off in a little bit of olive oil. If you don't need to keep it vegan or don't want to keep it vegan, you could fry the vegetables in a little bit of butter or ghee. Here we are. Give everything a stir round. You don't want to colour the vegetables, you're just softening them a bit. I've also finely diced a bit of Bramley apple for a little sharpness, and I'm going to add that to the vegetables that are cooking in the pan. A little bit of natural caramelisation will start to happen. I can smell the apples already. You just want to cook them down a little bit, just to take some of the sharpness out and release the sweetness. If you prefer, you can use applesauce and you would just add it to the chestnuts, or you can use a bit of quince jelly. I had hoped to add some quince, but the quince fruit that I'd saved ready to cook on the hob and then pulp up a bit had gone off. so I'm using a bit of brandy now instead. The vegetables are ready now. They're getting soft, look. So now I add those to the bowl with the chestnuts. It smells really good. There we go. Give everything a stir through. I'm not adding any egg. It may need a little bit of cold stock or water. I have some herbs from the garden. I've got some oregano, so it's just starting to dry. I picked these yesterday. And I've got some broadleaf thyme, it's my absolute favourite. And I've got this lovely rosemary. Snip that down. Gives a really nice flavour to the nut roast. And give everything a mix round. Fresh herbs, gorgeous. I'm going to add some more nuts. I'm going to add a few of these Brazil nuts. I'm going to chop these up. That should be enough. And I'm also going to give these a chop as well. These are some flaked almonds that I had left and they need using up. Just chop the Brazil nuts roughly. You still want a little bit of texture. We eat a lot of nuts in the house. I don't know what I would do honestly if I couldn't eat nuts, because they're a staple part of my diet along with seeds. As you know, I'm not really into meat, so I have to get my protein from other sources. Nuts are so good for you. Brazil nuts in particular are one of the best ones. Walnuts are also good, high in selenium, for example. Chop the flaked almonds. Some of them have been chopped already. Others need a little bit of help. If you don't have very confident knife skills, you could just bash your nuts with a rolling pin. But don't do any damage to your work surfaces. Here we go. And give that a good old stir around. Now I've found a few of our homegrown tomatoes. These are the last few. They need a little bit of help, they need using. So I'm going to cut these up a little bit and I'm going to fry these off for a minute or two for some extra moisture in the chestnut roast mixture. And while they're cooking, I also found a couple of sun-dried tomatoes lurking in the back of the fridge. So I'm going to chop these up as well and add them to the nut roast mixture. That'll be really lovely. There's a bit of garlic lurking there. Need to remove that. You could add artichoke if you preferred. I've got a jar of artichokes. Again, it's something I cannot eat due to the high fibre content. But that little bit of oil we can keep, and that can be used in dressings. Nothing here goes to waste. It will be used in Dan's dressing for his lunchtime salad tomorrow. Sizzling away. Look at all the lovely colours. That smells lovely in tomato. All the pan juices. Give that a mix round. Add the chopped up sun-dried tomato. Give that a stir round. Et voila! We're nearly there. Now, you want your nut roast to have a little bit of balance. Some people add breadcrumbs. It's quite normal to add breadcrumbs. If you don't like breadcrumbs, or say you don't have any gluten-free bread, if you're gluten-free, if you're on a gluten-free diet, if you've got some packet stuffing mix, you can add that exactly as it is. Again, you can get gluten-free versions these days. You could add, if you wanted, some dried apricots chopped up. I don't have any. Or cranberries chopped up. Again, I don't have any. Or you might just want to add a bit of polenta. In that case, I would probably rehydrate it. You don't need a huge amount. You just want enough to bind. But I think it's better if you're not using egg to rehydrate your polenta rather than just have it as dry cornmeal. The nut roast will hold together that little bit better. You could add some gram flour if you wanted, some chickpea flour. I am going to add a little bit of organic coconut flour. This is gluten-free, of course, high in protein. I'm going to eyeball about 3 tablespoons. That should be enough. I'm going to mix that in. That helps to bring it all together. I'm also going to add some salt. There's salt in the sun-dried tomatoes, so don't go crazy. There's about half a teaspoon of kosher salt gone in there. And a generous pinch of ground black pepper. This is coarse ground pepper. Mix everything through. And I'm going to add just a little drop of water to bind everything well together. Just do it gradually. You don't want it mushy. That's the kind of texture you want. I have a 4 container here. I save all our best 4 containers that we get with things. This has been through the dishwasher. I'm going to pour a little bit of olive oil just into the base of the tin, and then oil the sides and rub the oil into the base, all over, until it feels well lubricated. And then we can pile in the roast mixture. And spread the mixture out really well in the tin. This can be made extra special with a bit more prep by, for example, on the day, slicing an apple and placing the slices on top before you pop it in the oven. I would recommend you cover the top with foil for about half an hour and then remove for the last 15 minutes or so. And you should have a really tasty nut roast. You could also do it with fresh apricots as well and place the halves on top and cook it in the same way. Otherwise, you could serve it alongside a homemade apple sauce. But why not be different and put the fruit on top and bake it like that, covered over with foil? You're saving yourself a little bit of work. So there it is, my wonderful festive chestnut roast. Thanks so much for watching, and see you again soon for another recipe. Bye for now.